Hello everyone, how's it going? It is 9:12 a.m., 12:22:20. We have four stocks to watch. Three of them are big percent gainers. G over here kind of looks like a symmetrical triangle, kind of a breakout. Of course, this thing is mainly because of news, but still looks impressive nonetheless. The next one we have is AMTX. Oh, and JG is the only one that is shortable. Not really putting up a chart that I want to short. I mean, I could always try risking off of the highs here, but I don't think I'll quite frankly do that. AMTX is looking more like a head and shoulders. The first day. Not the best long-term chart because look at the volume here, right? And we've had some previous days that have traded much more volume, so that could really cause this stock to have some bag holders, but not as bad as HUSN, which the volume is even lower than these guys, and it's definitely traded a lot more over here. On top of that, it's having this nice run up. I don't know, just a little sketchy. SNDL, this is a Nasdaq, but it's like an LTC stock. It's under $1, and it's one of those that people like to pump for a long time. We're gonna see if this thing continues to do anything. Just to watch, not really trade, just to watch and see how they do. And that's how I'm looking at. Overall markets are up 0.1%, which means it's not gonna have a major effect on the stocks today, at least as of right now. And yep, this is all I have at the moment. Okay, it is 9:19 a.m. I don't know if it'll continue, but look at the level 2. It's just pure red. I think this is what Tim Sykes has talked about when somebody just places a big order, like a big market order, and it's just literally wiping out whoever's on the bid. It's just constantly pushing it. Lots of volume. This guy has been doing this for like a minute and a half. It's pretty impressive. It's just pure selling. I mean, it's holding up pretty well considering how much selling there is. Yeah, it's like just dumping its shares. Somebody's just dumping a whole bunch of shares. It could be a short seller too. The idea is that you're gonna short basing it off of some idea that it doesn't break past 606. The lows over here, cracked, held, well, broke on the upside, held, cracked below it, bounced, failed, confirmed breakdown, perhaps. And this guy is just continuously, it might be more than one person, but it's just big streaks of red. This is very unusual. I wonder if anybody is looking at this. I don't know why he's looking at this. Just a lot of red. And now that this red, well, I guess it still keeps going, but I mean, if it stops, it might be other people. Well, I just have a feeling it's just one person, at least previously. But it could seriously cause a squeeze if that person is shorting all these shares. Is this thing still okay? Is this thing still shortable? Yep. I just wanted to note that very strange price action. Just all of this red and very little greens. It's holding very well considering all that selling pressure. Again, it could be a confirmed break down over the 605, 606 range. We'll keep looking. Okay, it's the market open, 9:30. The guy is still dumping his shares. In fact, I mean, I'm gonna guess as one person, he dumped a lot of shares at the market open too and caused this big volume spike. I don't know if it's a short seller or if it's some guy who bought really early and has a ton of shares. But I mean, if this guy's a short seller, this could be one of the biggest squeezes, at least just by looking at the level 2 at a time of sales. It's just crazy. Looks like it might form a head and shoulders, which is bearish, of course. AMTX, Michael Good is really against this stock. He's interested in shorting it because he says it's striked for cash, although he's more focused on CY and DY. I see a head and shoulders pattern here, which is pretty cool. It cracked to this level at 390-ish. It can drop more. I mean, it doesn't have to. Market's open, so the increased volatility could result into something like this. I'd probably cover some if I was short, perhaps. HUSN, it looks like it's going to be an all-day fader. I don't have shares of short of this. SNDL is in the other screen. It's up 4-ish%. I'll keep looking. Just no setups right now, but even if I don't trade, I'm very curious as to what this is gonna do. Just watching it, but there is definitely somebody who's just dumping their shares like crazy, enough for me to notice. Very, very, very crazy. He might be successful, but if this guy's a short, he's going to have to cover at some point, and I'll tell you why. He has a lot of shares he's going to have to cover if he is a short seller. We'll see. Okay, it's only been a few minutes later, but I do not see the constant red that it was doing previously. We still have a big red volume bar, but it's still trading now more consistently, buys and sells, not just total absolute sales like it was. I was able to short this guy, never shorted it, and I don't feel bad because technically this will be playing off of the confirmed breakdown level of 606, so would have been the only time I would have shorted around here. And once it spiked and got above this level right here, that wouldn't have been a short anymore, because you know this thing could squeeze, although it did base off of this 620 level instead. If it made a shoulder here for a head and shoulders, definitely would have shorted that. Why is this thing so laggy? Anyway, very nice. I'll just keep watching this. I would have only shorted here, and I probably would have covered here, just because it went to a higher level and it could keep going, but it didn't. Pretty impressive. No setups right now, but I'll keep looking. Hello, how's it going? It's 9:38 a.m. This is extremely speculative, but I'm considering just buying 100 shares. It seems like it's a short seller that did all that selling. I'm going to risk it probably off of 540 perhaps if I do trade this. I think it was a big short seller and now he's like buying all of the shares back. I could be wrong, and that's why you can risk it off of 540. Still, the level 2 looks like crap. I would like to see it better, but perhaps if I see it doing better, it'll just, you know, spike like crazy. I might change my mind, but I mean, it looks like it's a big short seller, and I think he was covering some of his shares. Just somebody trading with a huge account. But if it keeps looking like this, I'm not gonna do it. I'll get ready though. It's a big person on the ask. It might even be the same short seller now bidding on the ask. Maybe he learned to talk with his broker and not do a market order. Let's see if it cracks this wick right here. It does. Alright, this thing has more room to drop. It might be max panic, I don't know. You know, not something you consider on the first day runner. It just would have been a very simple idea that, some big short seller from here did all of this selling, right? And now he's covering, and I could always consider buying just 100 shares, and that big short seller is covering all of his shares. I don't even, it's tens of hundreds of millions of shares. I don't know how many shares. It could definitely affect the price, and I would benefit from that as a little guppy in the ocean full of sharks, dude. No real setups right there anymore. At least if I would have gone long, I hesitate a lot. I could have still went long. I just would have had to have covered if it cracked when it cracked 540. Definitely would have covered at the wick if I was stubborn. AMTX head and shoulders played out. It could fade the rest of the day. I don't see an inverse head and shoulders to trade there. Kind of hesitant on buying this stock. I mean, Michael Good knows his stuff. He's not a genie, but he's right. If this thing is strapped for cash today, maybe tomorrow could just boom, big financing, right? And 50% off, right? I've been burned once getting long in the stock. Sold half my position when it didn't seem like the multi-day breakout wasn't working well, and offering was like a few minutes later, so I kind of saved myself there, getting out of half of my position. But yeah, no setups right now. I'll probably look at the chat and see what other setups are out there if I see anything I like. Otherwise, JG, big short seller, the big short, or maybe the big bag. I'll keep watching this. I will still be interested. It feels like it was a big short seller. I wonder if this thing's still shortable. Still shortable at 5%. So yeah, I'll keep looking. Okay, it's 9:55 a.m. AMBL could be holding this $1 level. It can do a leg up, but it's just super sketchy. Not gonna trade it. I'll definitely watch it though. Very nice runner, as you can tell here on the daily chart. This was a significant level right about here, 88 cents. Briefly broke out and then failed to hold 88 cents. Today it actually broke up, dipped right around that 88 cents level again. Here it broke out of it a little and failed. Here is the level. Bounced very nicely off of that level, went to a high of, I guess, 109. Dropped here at 1, and I guess it is gonna hold 1, which is pretty nice. But you can tell by the way it trades, it's not something I want to trade, but it is something I'm gonna watch and learn from. AMBL. The other guy is CYDY. This is a very popular runner this year. It's running again. It's nicely running up over many days. No clear pattern, but it is doing the whole higher low, higher high setup. Here's the highs, higher, lows, higher. We'll see what these guys do. Not really trading any of these. G went as low as 5. It's already trading more shares than here since the volume picked up right about here, especially when Mr. Shortseller came in, or the bag holder, whoever that was. Looks like an inverse head and shoulders, but I'm not gonna trade this, dude. Some people are just still selling their shares. AMTX is fading, no clear pattern. AMBL might make a head and shoulders. I don't know. I won't trade this, and I can't short OTCs. So yeah, that's all I got. Overall markets were down 0.02%, so it doesn't have much an effect. We'll keep looking. Okay, it is 10:19 a.m. ABML is doing the number 3 pattern. It's going very nicely. It held this $1 level. I wanted to have bought this, but maybe if I keep seeing this, I will. This is an OTC stock doing a very nice job. Broke above the day highs here at 112, now at 120. How high is it going to go? Is it going to stop going up? Who knows? Still very impressive. JG just keeps falling. No setups that I would have traded. I wouldn't have traded this inverse head and shoulders because the shoulders were kind of too far one from the other for me to be interested in. It didn't trade very well. Had a lot of sellers, as you can recall. AMTX, they might make an inverse head and shoulders, but I'm not going to trade that. CYDY, pretty impressive too. It's very easy. Like, you could have at least I noticed like right around here that it wasn't like the odds of it continuing to spike weren't that good because it was kind of rounding off as it did here. No setups. Maybe I won't trade today, but that's totally fine. Okay, it is 10:45 a.m. I likely won't trade anything, but that's fine. I don't mind it. I learned a lot today. AMTX could make an inverse head and shoulders here. Already have a wick to risk off of, but I'm not gonna trade it just because it's too wide. I don't really like it, and I don't think it can really spike that much. I can always be wrong. I just don't think it'll be that good. Mr. JG, just really pathetic dropper. No time I would have shorted this, except for this level, but I would have cut losses here. Again, it just held off of this range, but to me this level was more significant because that's where the transitioning happened. Very nice drop. Volume has continued to fade. Don't know if it was a big seller or a big short. Might have been a big seller. Who knows? I think it's a short, but you know, it can be anybody. HUSN, boring. And CYDY, looks like it's gonna put up a ascending triangle. I might actually stay to watch this. This is pretty cool to look. Another one to note is BRPA. This is one of those halters. Would be a nice number 5 if it trades one more day like this, but if it's halty on the way down, it might not be a good setup. I'll keep looking at where is it? Which stock was it? CYDY. See if it breaks out or not. It could very well do it. But otherwise, I'm probably just going to call it off. I might do one more recap at the end of the day. Otherwise, just no setups. Okay, it is 4:37 p.m. The markets have closed. This is going to be a recap over everything today. One thing to know, I mean, considering the fact that I have a business and all, I don't see, because I do a lot of work on the computer, why I don't just have eTrade Pro running in the background and maybe check every 20 minutes or so. I mean, it's kind of degenerate to always be there at the markets, but since I have the opportunity to do that without much of a con, I don't see why I shouldn't do it. So for that reason, I'm going to start doing it just a little more, just to be there. A lot of stocks do break out or make a nice move at like the late 10s or maybe like in the 11s, even midday. You know, there's always that super clean setup that happens at 11, and there's one in mind that I'm going to show right here. But because I'm able to do it, most of my work, like I said, is on the computer. I don't see why I can't just leave eTrade Pro running in the background. I have to understand, of course, trading midday isn't as safe as the market open, or well, market opens are not really safe, but I'd say from 9:40 to 10:40, that's the prime time. But if something's at 11 or 12, I just have to take that into consideration that it is later in the day. But since I have the opportunity, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep eTrade Pro open the whole time. So we have JG. This is the guy that just kept getting shorted or sold. I don't know. I think it was the big short. It faded the entire day. Whoever, if it was a short seller, he would have had plenty of time, I think, to cover throughout the entire day for nice profits. I don't feel bad for this. I don't feel bad. Again, I would have shorted here at maybe 605. I would have covered in the 620s. It held this range here. But like I said before, 605-ish was pretty important, because that was, like I said, the transition times. Faded the rest of the day. I don't see any patterns besides that. Kind of held its ground once we got to midday and afterwards. Another follow-up dip, but it came back. Just a fader. We see these all the time in these markets. Something that I forgot that I remember now is that in 2015, 2016, you would see a lot of stocks spike at the market open. Even like NASDAQ stocks would spike like crazy at the market open and do this that we're looking at right here at 9:30 instead of, 7. Like, what? So you just have to take that into consideration. And what I see even in this crazy market are plenty of big percent gainers that fade the entire day, and this one was shortable actually. I just have to keep learning from it. I don't think I would have done this any differently. I don't regret any of it. Like I said, I would have shorted here and covered there. Just an all-day fader. CYCC, I added this later just because it was spiking later in the day. Again, these are one of those midday stocks that start getting very volatile. Very nice move. I don't even know. I doubt it's shortable. It's not shortable. Just went very nicely. Spiked, failed. No clear patterns other than the breakout here over the day high at 1150-ish. Besides that, I don't see a clear pattern that I would have traded. AMTX is another one, and besides the head and shoulders, there wasn't really a clear setup that I was too interested in. Just faded the rest of the day. Michael Good was interested in shorting this one. It kind of did an inverse head and shoulders here, but I didn't like it because of how this thing was trading, and on top of that, the shoulder here was lower. And it figures, it only went from 330 to like 350. That's not very good. If that's best case scenario, 20 cents on a $3 stock, that's not good. HUSN was another all-day fader. Kind of shows why I want to get into shorting these stocks that fade. There's just a lot of them. CYDY, I like this. I saved a screenshot of this. This is a number 5. CYDI has ran for multiple days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th day, or the 5th day if you don't want to count that little green day. Very beautiful number 5. I already saw it happening when it was too late. Just a very nice setup. 5 to 597. So that's a 20% move. Very nice 20% move. Best case, you could have easily made anywhere from 3 to 20%. It was just a nice opportunity to make some profits. Had I have seen it in time, I would have traded it. At least I hope I would have traded it. I hope I didn't wouldn't get scared of it. But yeah, it was a nice move. And just one more, I guess, to bring up. What is it? BRPA? Not that. BRPA, just one of those sketchy day trader stocks because it's so volatile, so halty. I considered maybe a number 5 if it would have spiked more than 2 days. It hasn't. It looks like it might run out of steam. But then again, if it fades very quickly or drops very quickly, it could do a halt, and then that would mess up the pattern. So that's all I got. I don't really feel bad. There weren't any setups that I missed other than CYDY, but that was at 11. I'm just gonna consider keeping E-Trade Pro running the whole day as I do my casual work or studying, whatever it may be. Since I have that opportunity, I don't see why I can't do it. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll give today maybe a 7 out of 10. Because I feel like if I really tried, I probably could have seen this happening. But otherwise, it was a good trading day.